How many times have we not heard, bus 10th class kar lo, life chill hai, and then do your 11th and 12th and your life will be sorted. And then there comes a stage where people say ki degree khatam kar lo, engineering kar lo, kuch degree kar lo and your life will be sorted. And ye kabhi sorted hota nahi hai. It keeps on going one after the other, one after the other, and things get more intense in life. And I had a lot of fights with my dad in terms of dropping out of school. Not school actually, but college. I I just want to be very candid here that I just had a lot of fights due with my father to drop out of college. Once in second year, once in the final year. Final year में तो मान गया था कि यार थोड़ा और ही बचा है, एक साल खत्म कर लेते हैं, then I'll be sorted कि डिग्री मिल जाएगा. That's what was going on with me. So the whole point being why I'm making this video is like, in the Indian education system, right, there are a lot of things that are just told for the sake of telling, and there's no one to sort of give a candid opinion in terms of both a neutral basically perspective in terms of why things are the way they are. I'm talking to every single student in the country who are going to join an engineering college or any kind of a degree. Even me, I was a very aspirational kid, did really good in 10th and 12th. I gave my IIT JEE. Interestingly, I did get a decent score to get into a central government college, which was Triple IT Gwalior. It's known as ABB Triple ITM Gwalior, with tribute to Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji. So I was really curious. I was really excited in terms of first time I'm going somewhere which is like 1800 kilometers far from my home, going to stay in a college, in a hostel, make new friends, and at the same time spend the next 5 years. Yeah, you heard that right, 5 years, because I was doing an integrated course which was like bachelor's and master's. So I'll be spending my next 5 years in college. It was a really good experience. I'll say what the goods and the bad things, or not the bad things per se, and but what exactly should you be expecting from a college? A lot of our parents, right, how parents think while in selecting a college is like, what's the package of the college? How good the college is doing? And they just go with the numbers. And we as kids who just gave an exam, 16, 18-year-old kids, we don't have much understanding of what we want to do in life, which is so in India, which is sadly what is happening in India. Because when I see other countries, the students or the kids get a lot more exposure in terms of working in gigs, supporting the family in different ways, being more outward in terms of going out in the industry and being outside and learning a lot more things. That's sort of ingrained in the Indian culture, where we don't get a lot of freedom to sort of move out of the home, explore things that we want as we wish. Even today, when I got a new bike, my mom is like, drive carefully, don't go far outside the cities and stuff like that. But the whole point being, what I'm trying to prove here is like, the way we are brought up in India is much different due to the cultural differences that there are in the West and India. So we have not much clue at 16, 18 years old kids in the what should we doing, should be doing in life. So that's something that due to which we don't get to decide a lot of things that we want. And engineering or any other degree is a very, very big turn in terms of how your life will be leading for the next 40, 50 years of your upcoming career. And that decision is in India, especially, is taken mostly by the parents. At least at my home, I have a brother, I have a sister. My brother, my dad coached me to get into an IIT, which I wasn't able to get into. So my brother also took a coaching for IIT. He cracked IIT Roorkee, and he studied there. He's graduating this year. And my sister got into CA. And if you look at it, they've given a lot of freedom to us. But at the very end, in India, even thinking about a career option that's outside of medical engineering, doctor, engineer, and CA, and a couple of other professions, it's not that well accepted, or for that matter, it's not very well known. If you have a family where 2 3 people, like you have a big family, 15 20 member 25 member family, pretty much the professions that are in the family are the professions that you get limited to, in terms of the professions that you can go after and sort of work towards and learn and stuff like that. That's also because people in the family are more like, I've been doing this, it's good, you have to do this. But then not a lot of options in terms of you as a 16-year-old getting an exposure to understand what exactly you want to do in life. That was also a problem that I was facing, but anyhow I got into engineering. And then once I went to the college, if you ask me what did you learn from college, talk about it in 10 15 minutes, I would talk about everything but the curriculum. I'll talk about everything but what is taught in the college. Because college, let me take you a little bit in the history, right? How colleges or institutes were established. How college or institute was established, and tell you a story, is like someone like all these explorers who went across the globe, who were exploring things, going into the seas and oceans, and they visited new lands. They discovered things that are native to those new lands, came back to their basically countries, and then they went ahead to preach about it. Preach might not be the right word, but share the knowledge that they have gained along with their expedition, in the duration that they had gone to an expedition. So people used to come to institutes or colleges to listen to these people and learn from these people who have done something that a lot of people aspire to, but they didn't get a chance to, which is like exploring the world, going to new places, understanding how the new places are and stuff like that. In a similar way, all the scientists, researchers who have done something astonishing in terms of something that regular people don't get to do, basically come there and talk about those things that they have achieved or done. And people used to take that inspiration and try to sort of ask questions and understand and learn from them, to sort of try to do something in their life basis of those learnings. So if you look at this history, the people who have done something unique in their life are coming to spread knowledge with the other people around them. But let's look at where we are presently, especially when we look at the colleges around us. There are thousands of colleges. The present scenario is what I'm talking about, where college has become rather more like a business rather than a hub of knowledge sharing. So all these big landlords and real estate folks, when the education was booming in India, especially when the computers were coming in India, and the BPO and the other industries which were getting set up, especially the times of Infosys, TCS, Wipro, all those companies coming up, setting up the IT industry in India, a lot more people wanted to get educated, and a degree was a kind of a entry ticket in terms of saying, this is what I have got, this is what is valuable, and you should be hiring me for this. At that point of time, there was not a lot of things that you can show out to show your skill set. So degree was something that was widely accepted, and that was something that people were doing. And a lot of people who were in the capitalistic society wanted to capitalize on this degree thing, and sort of started creating more colleges. So the whole funda is about the demand and supply. The demand for education was a lot. The supply was not that much in India. So a lot more people started setting up basically colleges, and actually the supply for the colleges went on going up. And now this is the sweet spot where the demand and supply sort of sit at the same level and things are going hunky-dory. But the whole problem that happened after that, which important for us to know, is like the supply kept on going so much that the demand has gone so low that the salaries are at rock bottom. The growth of salaries are at rock bottom. There's not much jobs in the market. People are getting underpaid. 85% of people are getting underpaid or unemployed. And this is the present state of whatever is happening. So this is not just a problem of one or two players in the industry, but rather a cumulatively of different kinds of players, like people setting up schools or colleges as a business for them. It's a business. So that's one of the problem. One other people here are the parents who think that they think in a certain way that especially the Indian parents want to force their ideology on their children. I'm not generalizing it. I don't want to make it a comment, but this is how my personal opinion has been. So I'm not talking about my parents per se. So I'm talking about generally what parents think, like what I have been able to observe. They try to impose their thought process and try to win the argument with the kid in terms of imposing that thing over the kid, so that the kid, if the kid does what the parents want, the parents are happy, and the parents want good for the kid, so it's not their fault for seeking something basis of their prior knowledge. Ki whatever they have done in the past, basis of that knowledge, they try to do good for the kid. And the professors or the college management, coming to those people, like I said in the past, people who have done some things in their life, they come to sort of share that knowledge. But with the kind of number of colleges going up so dramatically high, there were not a lot of people with that kind of level of aptitude and the kind of things that they have done in life and they want to share, and they come and share, is something that got drastically reduced. So the kind of professors or people teaching in colleges were the kind of people who just used to memorize certain books, which I have personally felt. They just remember some things, make some slides, and they keep teaching. This is also not for the fault of these kinds of people, because it's a supply and demand. More colleges, more demand for professors and teachers. So people sort of started jumping in, and they sort of started learning some things, basic stuff, doing courses like B.Ed and whatnot, and doing some PhDs. Especially, I have seen through this landscape of PhDs, when I got to hear from some people, even people who don't know much about a specific industry are able to sort of buy these PhD papers and just put them under their name and hack their way to get a PhD and get into a college and start teaching. So that's the sad reality of the kind of people that are teaching right now in colleges or institutes across India. So when you look at it, there are professors, there are parents, there are real estate owners who are trying to make a profit out of this whole jam. There's a kid who is 16 years old who doesn't know much about what's happening around him. So that I was that kid 6 years ago. And the whole point being, I didn't know why I was going to that college. If you ask me what I learned out of those 5 years of college, I learned a lot. Yeah, that's true. I learned a lot. I learned a lot in terms of how to speak with people, how to make connections, how to socialize with people, how to sort of manage times and deadlines in terms of when I had something to do, how to do it on time and stuff like that. But it has got nothing to do with academically in terms of learning exactly what was taught in college, which is something that generally the main objective of people before going to college to think about, I'm going to learn something, I'm going to pay a fee. But that's not going to happen, or that's not actually happening in colleges. So you learn everything, but not what you did go for there. Uh, I'm not. So there will still be some professors or people teaching you who are more passionate about what they're teaching. That's just 10% of the total people who will be teaching you. So you could be lucky in terms of getting them people like those teaching you. So that's fantastic. And in case you get those kinds of professors and stuff like that. So the whole bit being, for what I wanted to go there and I wanted to learn from the college, I didn't get to learn. Especially me getting into a field known as product management, which is into the management field, but my degree was in a tech field, which would pretty much happen for a lot of you people, because at 16 years, 17 years, you don't have much understanding of what exactly you should be doing for the rest of your life. And deciding such early in life might not be something that every single kid would find it successful in his life, or you just get stuck in terms of a specific field and you might not be able to enjoy the rest of your career or your life. So I've been seeing a lot of people, especially like me, the number is actually increasing in terms of people who are actually studying something in college, but post-college, once they sort of get matured in terms of understanding what they like doing, it's sort of moving to new basically career spaces by self-teaching themselves. So this is a very major thing that I want to try to convey to all the kids and everyone who was like in college or was just graduated out of college. It's like, whatever is taught in college, that's not just enough for you to get any kind of a job in the job market. There's so much competition that every single person who is in the industry has got a similar kind of a degree, similar kind of gone through a similar kind of a curriculum. How can you expect to be the one who gets hired for a role by going through the same thing that around 15 lakh students are going through every single year? And only 1.5 2 lakh out of those people are actually employable. So it's almost like 2 in every 15 students are employable, which is like a very shocking number. Some people can even get scared in terms of what I'm talking about here. So here comes the main thing which worked for me, is like self-teaching myself things. During college, what college gives you is a play field. Think of it as a blank canvas. Don't focus on if you have gone into a course or sort of a BTech in XYZ. Don't try to limit yourself to that specific field that you have gone into. That's the base level thing that you would have to do anyway, because that's like a mandatory thing for you to complete. But the rest of the time that you get, you will have to spend on a lot more things to actually explore and tinker with anything and everything that you might sort of stumble upon. Try to explore as many things as you can, so that once you get a hang of what you could like, what you would be able to do for the rest of your life, you sort of start getting the kind of the heck of it, you start liking it, and then you do more of it. You would be the luckiest person if you can find this as early as possible in their life. Some people do figure out something while they're in school. Let's just say they're good at music, they're good at sports, or they're good at some sort of video shooting, or some sort of makeup or cooking or something like that, and they want to pursue that for the rest of their life. That's good. But most of us don't come in that kind of a category. So we go through this formal education and we try to do things on their side in terms of hobbies, meeting people, talking about things, getting inspiration from movies, getting inspiration from people around us, which I think is a great thing to be in college around so many thousands of people who are thinking in different ways possible. And you get to access these kinds of people. Say if you don't go to college, where I have a couple of friends who have never been to college. I make fun of them. You never had fun like us in hostels and stuff like that. But there's also this thing that the personal growth or the personal exploration that these people who didn't go to a college is far lesser than people who go to college and explore their personal skills and personal life so well that if you're good at your personal life, you would figure out something in your professional life. That's the way I think look at it. So get to be around a lot of different people, go around and see what different people are doing. And it's all about finding inspirations from your environment. If you find something around you and you find it interesting and you do it and you figure out that you're actually good at it and you also find some enjoyment in doing it and you keep doing it, you get better at it. That's how I think you need to figure out a craft that you would want to do for your rest of your life, right? That happens through self-exploration. No one would come and teach you certain things in terms of do this, do that, to get a job and stuff like that. Of course, some people do, but I don't think so. Even after getting a very good job, you might not be very happy at it because you might not enjoy what you're doing, but you might be good at it. You might be doing it just for the sake of the money or just for the thing of going into the flow and just being there because you've done something in the past. You don't want to course correct that thing. That's fine. But if you really want to sort of have a fulfilling and very memorable sort of a work 30-40 years of your career, you will have to figure out what you like and what makes you happy. And that does take time. That does take time, effort. For some people, they could figure out very early in their career. For some people, could be a little later in their career. But I figured it out in third, fourth year of college that building products, building businesses, building something new that solves a problem was something that was really interesting to me. So that's something that I got into. I both have a professional life as a product manager, but I still spend a lot of personal time exploring ideas and trying to build something in life. I'm just 23 right now, and the kind of ideas the kind of growth that I've had in the last 3-4 years of college is immense. I wouldn't have been able to think the way I'm thinking right now if I wasn't in my college, if I didn't spend those kinds of 4-5 years in college. Now I understand the power, the use of college. It's more like for the peer-to-peer learning, for socializing, and sort of exploring yourself. In the way, you also get to do some courses. If those are something that you like, then that's well and good. That's not something that everyone does. Especially I've seen all my batchmates, a lot of them, they've gone into different kind of career paths. But yeah, most of them have gone into tech. But I still can bet all these people who have gone into tech optimistically only 10 to 15% of them would be enjoying it at the moment, because I've spoken to a lot of people in different career paths, and people just keep doing what they're doing just because they don't want to get out of it, even if they are not liking it. And it gets very risky after a point of time to course correct, but that's fine. So these are raw thoughts and I just want to put out for every single individual in this country, or we say possibly across the globe, who is trying to sort of learn something, do something in life, figure out something. This is also a self-therapy for myself when I look back 10 years down the line, probably running some multi-million-dollar company and trying to understand, yes, this was how I was thinking 10 years ago, and this was how I was thinking before my college. Whatever I spoke about 5 years ago, how I was clueless in terms of what I should be doing. And I was like relying upon my parents' decisions, relying upon a lot of environmental circumstances which are not in my control, and just getting into something without fully being confident about my option that I took 5 years ago when I started my engineering. So these are some things that I spend a lot of time thinking I really like to talk about. I just wanted to keep this really raw one-to-one conversation with every single one of you watching this video. And I know this is a long video. If you came till here, I'm pretty sure you would do something different in your life than the way that you would have done without watching this video. Pretty sure some bits of this video would sort of have a very positive effect in your life, because these are thoughts that have completely set me apart from a lot of different people. I really enjoy what I'm doing. Doesn't matter the kind of money I'm making, doesn't matter where I'm right now, doesn't matter what the other people who were with me were sort of doing, but exactly what I have been able to do is all due to these sort of mental constructs and the mental models that I just put out talking to you folks. And this video in itself is a huge interesting bit for me, because I have never spoken something like this in this much detail, and I wouldn't have got this chance to have this conversation with you if it wasn't for this video. Hang on, that's a lot. So yeah, I know that's heavy. I really hope before I'm not able to think through what to say, because gone so much into depth of on my engineering years and all my journey that yeah, cool. I really hope you found something interesting from this video, something that you can apply in your life or share it with your friend, or sort of help anyone who is in need of help in terms of deciding what they want to do in their life. And I really hope you find this interesting, and do share it with anyone who might find this helpful. And this is Palachi Rao signing off. I'll see you in the next one.